Welcome or welcome back to WatchAdvisor on YouTube. It's Alexander speaking, your host, and on your screen you see the Glashütte Original SeaQ Panorama Date.
Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications.
Two of the SeaQ watches you see on your screen are new. That's the rose gold edition of the small SeaQ version without the legendary or perfectly readable panorama date, 39.5 millimeter, first time available in a red gold case, and yes, some of you know it, with a see-through case back, very first time, so you can see the caliber 3911. In the middle, that's a new version of the SeaQ Panorama Date with a green inlay in the bezel, a green dial. And if you're asking yourself, where is that green? Haha, this is a particularity of that green. It tends, depending on the light conditions, to fade out quite quickly. But please have a look to some of our pictures. I've been taping outside in bright light, and then you will see, yes, it is green. The guy here is not telling you any BS. It's green, but yeah, it's fading out a little bit. That's how it is. And on your right side, that's a watch that Glashütte Original presented already last year. That's the 39 millimeter SeaQ with the same green dial, green bezel. It's not a new one. New, not new. Okay, let's go right into the subject. Now let us talk about the SeaQ Panorama Date new version with a green dial, a green ceramic inlay in the bezel. And yep, it is also, as you clearly see, the difference in size. A bigger watch. The watch has a diameter of 43.2 millimeter. The thickness is, here you are, from the side, the thickness is 15.65 millimeter, and the so-called lug to lug distance, so from one lug end to the other lug end, is 51.5 millimeter. Talking about numbers, let me also now give you the distance in between the lugs. I've been measuring 21, and the strap tapers down in the folding clasp to 18 millimeter, 21 to 18. So what's the main difference beside of size? You have, of course, the panorama date, big date indication that really enables, even if you're wearing glasses and you're not having glasses on your nose, to read the date, because it's a panorama date. It's a big date, perfectly readable, consisting of two discs that display the date from 01 to 31 and then again to 01. I will run you through those numbers just in a few seconds. And yes, please watch some of our pictures of this SeaQ Panorama Date. Watch some of the pictures that our team is now editing, either Jorge or Isa. They're editing the video. They will show you the watch in bright sunlight and you see it, it's green. Yes, I know it's fading out. I can't change, but the camera, what I'm filming here, everything is calibrated, perfectly calibrated, and what you see is what I saw and what the camera saw. So this is not bad video quality, bad camera, or bad editing. It is as it is. That green really tends to fade out quite quickly if the light conditions start to get weaker and weaker. It becomes gray. It becomes a gray, black, first gray and then black, and once light comes back, whoop, it's green. That's how it is, and nothing to worry about. It is a Warnish green dial. We have applied indices with Super-LumiNova. You will see this, of course, in our loom shot. And you have a white white panorama date on a perfectly matching, perfectly identical green background. So this is how it should be, as well as the green inlay and the unidirectional bezel. Let me also turn this bezel for you. I will hold the watch like this. That's easier for me. But you see, it is 120 clicks. Solid sound, I have to say. Sounds very technical. Not cheap. Absolutely not cheap. And yes, you need some specific force here to move this bezel. And this is good because once you're using it, if you are diving with the watch, you don't want it to move around by coincidence. So it is as it is. SeaQ Panorama Date with the green dial and the green inlay in the bezel. Yep, this is how the watch looks like when you are in dark conditions. The Loom Shot. Nicely readable. You can see the central second hand swiping over the dial. It is now reaching 5 seconds. Everything is perfectly visible. Can you dive with the SeaQ Panorama Date? Of course, waterproof up to 300 meter, 30 bar. And but, now comes the little but, only if the crown is completely screwed in. You see it here. And yes, of course, what is Alexander showing you next? Yes, the red gasket that will suddenly appear once you unscrew. And we can a little bit see the gasket already shining through, but if you pull it in the second position, you see here is the red gasket. And yeah, it is signalizing you, alerting you, reminding you, please screw down the crown to make the watch completely waterproof. And please do not forget to screw down. Okay, hacking seconds. What do you see? Yes. The central second hand stopped. I pulled the crown in its second position, so adjustments can be made, as you see. And before we are doing what I'm always doing, showing you how the date changes at midnight, we are first, I'm pulling back the crown in its first position. This is where I will show you now the date change, and you already saw it changing to the 9th, and I will quickly run you through the numbers so you can see this. The 10th, this is double digit and nothing changes. It's still the same size, and you can discover all these numbers. 18, and you hear a nice click when it changes. Click, click, very nice. Very technical, very solid handling of, it's a very technical sound and a very good haptic here in the crown. There's nothing shaky. Same, by the way, applies also to the regular SeaQ that they are lying here in the background. So it's really a perfect watch. It is German engineering, and hats off. That's really as it should be. Let me continue. Oh, okay. 77, 28, 9, 30th, 31st. And now watch, there will be a 0 replacing the 3, and then we will have 0, 1, there it is. So now we go back 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And now, surprise, surprise, I tend to do this exercise always live because I want to surprise myself, want to surprise you. We are going to advance the hands to reach midnight. So we have to advance. It's 6 in the evening now. 8, 9, 10, 11. And now let us together discover what happens. We are approaching. I think it will be instantaneous, precisely at midnight. Yep. 2-3 minutes after midnight, but click, and the watch shows 08. That's how it should be. Wonderful engineering coming from Glashütte here. Nothing to complain about. I make the watch smile at you once again. It is set to 08, lucky number in the date window. It couldn't be better. And yes, this little red gasket now reminds me, Alexander, screw down the crown. This is what I'm going to do. And you see already when you push in, you only see it partially. But once you do your job, once you screw down correctly, the case is waterproof 300 meters and ready to go diving, swimming, whatever you want to do. So now, in my humble opinion, the 43.2 millimeter is the perfect size for my wrist. Yes, I can hear some of you disagreeing and say, no, Alexander, the smaller one fits better. Might be, but for me, it's too small. These 39.5 are, not enough for me. I need more. And now let's discover something I have not been doing before. Can you see the strap? And it's dry now, and let's put it, let's make the pull shot and see how it looks like when it gets wet. There we go. This is, by the way, one of the most beautiful executed divers on the market. A watch that offers excellent readability of the date. I told you that before in the video, with that big date indication, Panorama Date, as Glashütte Original calls it. And readability couldn't be better. And the green is beautiful, if you like it. I would prefer to wear it in blue, yes. And yep, you see, now the strap got wet and changed a little bit its color from a gray-brown, light gray-brown to more darker gray-brown. And but still looks good, matches still the color of this watch, so still okay. Let's go back into water, and you see here also the same effect with the glass, certain angle on the water, mirroring instead of showing time, so time off, time in, or time out, time in. The thing I'm always talking about. But I have to say, this is a very, very beautiful and slim and size-wise perfectly fitting my 17 centimeter wrist. Before I will introduce you the Caliber 36-13, I need to quickly talk about, I have been mentioning it here, with the green SeaQ version, that there is an engraving on the case back signal telling you DIN 8306, and this is the standardized testing procedure of the Deutsche Industrie norm that specifies what has to be tested, that the watch might be called a diver. So the stainless steel versions are certified officially as a diver and are tested as a diver. Of course, the gold version goes through the same testing. And now let's come back to the initial picture. Yes, and here also DIN 8306 certified as a diver. And now let's talk about the movement, the 3613. It is, of course, a much more modern movement than in the small SeaQ. 100 hours of power reserve, 4 Hertz, 28800 semi-oscillation. You have a Glashütte 3/4 main plate. When I am moving the oscillating weight a little bit, you can see that's a 3/4 plate. It has a regulator-free fine adjustment and a silicone hairspring, so the watch does also have pretty impressive anti-magnetic features. So there is not as much in danger of magnetic fields as a watch with a classical hairspring. So this is a silicone hairspring. What else? You have the skeletonized rotor with the double G indication and a 21 karat oscillating weight here, 21K written. So the oscillating weight is in gold. Beveled edges, polished steel parts, screws polished and blued. Yes, a movement developed and manufactured by Glashütte Original, and you can see it looks gorgeous with all its finishing. So it's really a movement as you expect from a small manufacturer. And yeah, wow, you get value for the money without doubt. And it is nice to watch on top. So everything you see here, and to show you the rotor from the other side, let me quickly play around a little bit in the light, and you can see the finishings are gorgeous. Yeah, that's how it should be. Glashütte Original makes some really excellent movements, besides of the excellent engineering I've mentioned before concerning crown, etc., haptic of the bezel, etc. Everything as it should be on a top luxury level. So this SeaQ Panorama Date has been heavily used before. We do see scratches all around the place. I have to say. It's also a little bit of an indication for you when you are buying such a watch. Yeah, expect that this is kind of a scratch magnet. You see some scratches here, but also here on the polished side you have scratches. Yeah, you have signs of the watch being used. That's how it is. Yeah, once you start wearing it, automatically there will be some. Yeah, it is unavoidable, but it's a watch, and you're not buying an exhibition object or something. Okay, this is a different clasp compared to the butterfly clasp the small version has. You see here clearly there is no micro length extension as well. What you do is this is they call it a synthetic strap. Yeah, it is a woven, very nicely haptical, if you touch it, very nicely executed fabric strap with enough of possibilities to adjust the length. What you do to close it, there is this pin. You slide in here and you choose the right little hole. Then you press. The pin will then hold. Again, I do recommend to first slide into the first loop. When you are closing it, you close. There is a click. You clearly hear and feel the click, and then you know it is closed. And then you can fix with the second loop. You can fix the end of the bracelet, strap, bracelet. It's in French, you say bracelet, and bracelet, is used for both strap and bracelet. So I always confuse that. My mother tongues are German and French, so sometimes I'm really swapping in between these languages. And forgive me also the fact that sometimes I do maybe pronounce some of the things not correctly. Yeah, it's too many languages in my head. I have to switch around in terms of language. One nice thing, and I wanted to show this. Do you see the logo, double G logo? And once the crown is screwed down, it is mostly perfectly, it is more or less perfectly aligned. And I have to say that's a nice feature. It can be done. The only thing is that the manufacturer needs to do it. He has to do it. I can open it, screw it down again. It will always more or less be aligned. Some millimeters maybe. If you really close it, it is perfectly aligned. Look here. It's not a coincidence. I can open it, close it. Oh yes, here, box sapphire crystal. I almost forgot to show you this. Some distortions coming, here when you see the center second hand swiping over the dial, you can see some distortions, but it's a box sapphire crystal that features an anti-reflective treatment on both sides. That's how it is. The readability of all these color-wise, it is up to you to say, is green the nicest, is blue the nicest, is black the nicest. Glashütte Original has a variety of colors they offer you. Which color you choose. Readability is always excellent. Huge aperture here of the dial. Perfect contrast of the hour and minute hand. Perfect, perfect, I have to say. Readability of the date, it couldn't be better. By the way, looking also gorgeous because it's a technical little detail on the dial you really enjoy. So it couldn't be better. Very, very attractive alternative to some of the other well-known divers that aren't available or difficult to get or only available if you pay some extra prices for that greedy business. I hope you don't support that. So why not thinking out of the box and choosing a Glashütte Original instead? You're wearing a perfect watch made in Germany, done by a small manufacturer based in Glashütte. These watches are handmade compared to almost machine-made others. Think about it, think about it. The last thing I owe you are the prices. The SeaQ Panorama Date, as you saw it in this video, with the folding clasp. It is sold here in Austria with 20% VAT for 12,000 euro. If you think you don't need the folding clasp and you go for a pin buckle, 300 bucks less, 11,700. And if you want to wear it, as the watch does also exist with a steel bracelet, it is sold for 12,900 with the steel bracelet. Let me say goodbye. Let me ask you, motivate you to use the comment section to talk about or to write about the watches you've been seeing in the video. Do you like the green? What about the fading out? What about the big date indication, panorama date? Do you like it? What about etc.? Your comments are very, very, very much welcome. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for being here. Recommend us. And yeah, see you back soon here on WatchAdvisor on YouTube. Bye bye.